good evening, everyone. So, our first speaker for the day is Sagar. So, as Ramya already mentioned, the title is Swarapana, where music became more than me. So, a little bit introduction about Sagar. So, he's an artist, performer, composer, and music mentor. He's currently pursuing his BSc in biotechnology at Raghuleela College, Mysore, and is also a student of Raghuleela School of Music. He's also a founder and vocal instructor of Swarapana and open music community with 400 plus members. So basically, Swarapana means a kind of musical intoxication, a joyful addiction to creating and sharing music. For him, music is a raw and human path to self discovery, confidence, and emotional freedom. So, through Swarapana, he invites people of all ages and backgrounds to experience music beyond judgment, not just as listeners, but as participants. So, for him, musical expression is not just for the elite, it's deeply human and belongs to everyone. It is more than a platform, the Swarapana, and it's a chosen family where people come not to impress but to express. So now let us listen to his story. And over to you, Sagar. Thank you so much for agreeing to be, in sharing your story with all of us. We welcome you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure, Ranjita and Ramya. Very bright people. So I'm kind of grateful to be a part. I like fresh things like mornings, the sessions that we do in Swarapana. So when you initially invited me, I was like, oh, I'm not that worthy enough, to be a guest speaker. I'm just 21 and I just started off something, pursuing my dream and stuff. And then when I deeply thought into it, you made me realize how much I've actually worked for it. You made me take a stop. Then I was like, oh, this cannot just happen like that. Uniting people, hundreds of people, it's not that easy. And only then I realized, yes, I have a really good story to tell. And if people are inspired, even if one person is inspired from that, I would be really, really happy, because I think human has that potential. Any human of any given age with any background has the potential to dream and to exercise the same. So today I'll be taking you through, instead of talking, through glimpses of what I have been through as a person. And let's keep music aside. I want to talk about actualizing self. My music need not be your music. Your basketball could be my music. So anything. So I want to talk about that quotient that I figured out, of course, after being through a lot of ups and downs. So I'd like to start off with my childhood. I was an extremely rebellious kid. I might not appear now. I might appear very calm, but please don't believe that. I was a very, very different kid. You could imagine me to be Kalia from Chota Bheem, but not up to his size. So basically, I was not a bully, but I was a very, very bossy kid on the street. My street was filled with children, kids. Actually, most of them were older than me, a year old or two older at least. And I would invite them over to my house, like the kid. There's a kid who invites people to their house to play. Playing was everything to me. I hated school, and I was that kind of kid. And when I invited them to play, I was not just playing fair. I was always this bossy kid who wanted things to be done my way. Then now my parents show me the videos, and I'm like, oh no, please. That's such an embarrassing phase of my life where I'm straightforward being very, very bossy and mean to people. But my mom reminded me that, okay, why did kids just not go away? You were mean to them. You were extremely bossy. They were older than you. You're a complete red flag. But why would they still stay? Then she explained I was not just bossy, but I was sensible. The choices that I made, the decisions that I took to keep them engaged. At a young age, you cannot expect anything much, but to at least keep them engaged, to give them that worth, you need to be sensible. So I had this scope of experimenting as a kid, a very wrong form. I still don't like myself being that bossy, watching myself in those videos that my parents have recorded. But That gave me scope, that gave me a canvas to paint. Though there might be a lot of errors, but I could exercise my leadership. So today, in Swarapana, that ability to, hold the attention of people, not just command them, but be sensible, and people follow you. They look at you, they listen to you. So that's a very powerful position, and I actualized that it only came from there. So then I had to go to school, which is not so interesting to speak about because I've never been to school properly. My highest attendance percentage was like 45%, 50% given any year. Starting from LKG, I had complaints because I was extremely playful. I was inventing games. I used to create roles, and people must follow. If I assign you a role, you are that. I'll be the HR manager, you be this. So this is I always was fond of inventing new games. I used to document them, and I used to give the specific name. So when you're bored, you're in the mood to play doctor. I am the doctor, you're the patient. And sometimes I used to have patients with that proper illness. So you have to treat them again. So it's like an episode. So I used to create games like episodes. I did not realize what was actually cooking. It was actually my creativity unfolding itself. So I had this freedom to experiment, and I had no problem being embarrassed at all. I feel embarrassed now watching myself, but then I was a very reckless kid. I don't know if I can put through words so that you can imagine really well. So then I ended up topping all my exams starting from LKG to 10th. Just to mention, I got like 99.04% in my 10th grade. I never understood why. Then I go to PUC, then I score 98%, and then the University of Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada offers me Outstanding International Student Award, including University of British Columbia. And I never knew why I aced exams. I was really good because I taught people. Again, you have to sit, I'll teach, you listen. So that kind of person. So I used to teach children, and also I still do that. That's how I study. Actually, my classmates they're attending this very meeting. So Mona Shri, she is there. She's my classmate, and that's how I study. I ask them to come to my place. The very subject that we are studying now, I teach them, and that's how I learn. So I read it once like this and I behave as if I've been knowing this forever. So I do role play with my own classmates, and that's how I've been learning while teaching. So what I was getting to is, after I realized why I was acing these exams, why did I want to perform well? This was a sensitive aspect of my life where I realized that I did not like losing. I was not used to losing. I was not used to seeing failures at all. So, failure is anything that society throws at you. You are supposed to be good at what you're doing. You're supposed to ace your exams. You're supposed to be good at sports, co curriculars, and everything. And that made me stop for a while. And then I deliberately wanted to fail and check. So I would say this is kind of a spiritual awakening or something where you want to exit the system, experience something out of the system, and experiment with your own life. Then I started failing exams in my first PUC just to experiment. I got like 25 for 100, and my teachers insulted me. They were actually more perplexed than to insult me. They were not used to seeing me score low, and they invited my parents over to talk and everything, and then they were very worried about my studies. But then nobody understood why I was doing that. Once I actually learned to fail, I escaped the system itself. I started to get the actual answers as to what it means to me. That it could be anything. It could be your exams, it could be your daily chores, it could be not making your bed as soon as you wake up, it could be all those errors. I started psychologically becoming intellectual. Then I came up with a theory, my own theory. Yes, I have theories about everything. Now, then I started to become a bit more philosophical. And then I came to a conclusion that intellect is raw. So intellect develops in its own form in a unique way in everybody's life, and everybody has one kind of intelligence. And that one kind of intelligence is what they actually discover. But if they put their heart to it, not the mind, I think you can actualize anything. So that's what was happening to me. I was a swimmer, a state level swimmer. I was extremely good at it because I did not want to lose. I was really good at chess. I thought I would become a chess player more than anything on the planet. That was a phase. And then, of course, academics is there. I went to Canada for my studies. As I told you, I got the scholarship. I went there. I was doing my behavioral neuroscience. It's a pretty complex subject. And after 1.5 year, I came for a break from Canada and never went back. That was one more major step of my life, which is very questionable. Why would somebody who's excelling at studies go to a different country, do really well in the exams, get good scholarships, come back home for a break, and do not go back? And I never rebelled against it. It was like, okay, irbeka irtini. Though I knew the consequences that I had to restart my studies and everything. It's very hard to not be a part of the system. So sometimes it's so much into majority that you just have to do it for the sake of doing, or else brains cannot handle the fact that you're a dropout or anything like that. So my mom might be there in the meeting. I don't know. So she was very very against me not studying. All of a sudden, I was like, I have to do something else. I'm not aligning with it. So it's the same exam. You prepare and you go compete with yourself. You're like, oh, I did not remember that point during the exam, and you end up selling your permanent memory to the question that you did not write. So you end up remembering it for your entire life. And I did not quite relate with it. And then music happened to me in a very different way. Music was just any other. Music would have been the actually the last thing I would do. I was a dancer. I forgot to mention. I was a dancer for about 7 to 8 years. I have roamed all around Karnataka, in and around Karnataka with the team. I was really good at dance, and then I stopped it for some other reason. But that is how music was introduced to me. And one fine day, I joined this music school called as Raghuleela School of Music. I never liked schools. So I had changed like 5 to 6 music classes. My dad forced me, he took me, he made sure I went to the class after he dropped me. There are instances like that. I did not like somebody instructing me to learn the way they have learned, if it makes sense. I was always like, why do that? You could do it this way. So my mind was always, I was tuned to rebuke things, to find out other ways, to find out easier ways to learn things. So music was actually traumatic for me. I did not like music classes at all. So one fine day, I meet Vaishnavi TM. She was finalist of Sarigamapa season 10. So she had an excellent voice, beautiful voice. And I was like very curious. Where do you go to music classes? Then she suggested me this music class, and I go there and I see the epitome of music. Her name is Dr. Sunita Chandrakumar, the director and guru of Raghuleela School of Music. She's not an excellent singer. Her voice is worn out. When she speaks, you hear three voices. So her voice is basically worn out. But the way she sat and the way she wanted what she wanted is what inspired me. Music was music was just the thing that she wanted. But she showed me how to want a thing in life. So that was mind boggling for me, that I had never seen a person. You could use words like passionate, determinate, any other fancy words, but I actually have, I don't have a word, I have a phrase. She showed me how to want a thing, if that makes sense. She was caring less about who is sitting in front of you, uh, or how the students would perceive it. She was selfish in an amazing way. How selfish? She really really wants to teach. She wants people to experience music the way she experiences it. And that is when I figured out what I wanted, and music gradually became a part of it. It could have been anything. It could have been basketball. I forgot to mention. My dad is a basketball coach, and my sister is now playing for Team India. She got selected last week. So that was a proud moment for us. And my dad was upset that I was not the one to do it. I am 6'3", so I'm quite tall, a very good basketball player. I could have become that as well. I could have become 100 different things. I was always multi-gifted. But what was meant to happen happened. So when Dr. Sunita Chandrakumar happened to me, music took a different turn, and I could dive deep into every possible dimension of music there is. And that is when, and one more special thing about our classes is there's no age or skill limit, which I have imbibed today. And the most seasoned singers, the most excellent singers of Mysore come from there, not classically trained, but from there. The way she teaches, she's not a teacher. She's the only guru I have seen. And if I imagine the word guru, I get her face in the front. Okay, and then I started to imbibe so many things from her. I started to change the way I teach. I did not focus much on skill aspects, technical aspects of music. That is what tortures people and makes music less accessible. And that's when that authoritative position had a good intention. She showed me how to be. She's extremely authoritative. You don't want to even do in her classes. Nobody even looks left, right. She's extremely strict, but nobody leaves her. So that reminded me of something that I already had. So this was me when I was a kid, but just too out of the shape. That's it. This is an extremely matured version of what I was. And then I realized, oh, okay, so many puzzles of pieces came together. I'm like, oh, this is what I want to do. Yes, I perform. Yes, I do many things in music. I compose. I do weird stuff, harmonies, experiments, and everything. That gives me joy. But seeing the smile on people's face when I make them sing is priceless. So helping them figure out that space is priceless. I don't know. It might not even make sense to singers and musicians, but that's what I liked. And later, one fine day, I was sitting with my co singer and I get this word in my head. It's very spontaneous. I cannot even cook up a story that is better. It just happened, and the name was Swarapana. So Swarapana happened, and then I was like, okay, create an Instagram channel. Okay, just add. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm like, add a logo. I'm like, add the name Swarapana, 0 followers, 0 following. We'll do something about it. Then I go, all of a sudden, I had won this prize money, 5,000 rupees or something. Check. I go order t-shirts, 10 t-shirts of maroon with the logo, and my mom screws me up. For what? She's like, for why 10 t-shirts? You have nothing even built up. Why? I'm like, Mom, I know something. Something is happening in my head. She was terrified because I came from Canada. I discontinued my studies. I have restarted my studies. Now he's up with something else. So she was like, she really scolded a lot that day. And the next day, I unite people. I ask singers to come, and I take them to Kukrali Lake. You might be familiar with it. And then I'm like, I make them sit like dolls, wearing the t-shirts that I've ordered. Very proud of it, the logo that I've created, and I ask them to sing together. And I'm like, wow, this is something amazing. And people started noticing us singing. I never would have had the courage to sing alone and attract so many people's attention. It was impossible. So then I observed people, and I really like to read people's psychology. So what they might be thinking is, oh, how much would they have practiced? They're singing so much in synchronicity, and who's this tall guy instructing them? So it was a public attraction. It's like the Gurukula system. We sat under this banyan tree and we started doing this. That gave me a bigger idea. And I'm like, okay, let's not add limit to people. Now then I had like 7 singers, 10 singers. I'm like, let's make it 100 within a team. So then with the people that I had, I started inviting everybody who could just sing because I wanted numbers. I wanted more people. So then I united around 40 people, and then we sang this Hosa Belaku song. And before we even started all of that, I made sure everybody was dressed in theme maroon color and everybody wore the badge of the logo. And whoever had purchased the t-shirts, they would wear the t-shirts. Because I am like, I suddenly planned something like a businessman. Oh, branding is important. Simply singing is different. Singing under a name and a brand is different. And that's when I realized this is how you crack it. This is how you crack it. You create a purpose, you create an intention, you just fake it till you make it. You behave like you have been owning this company for like 10 years. That's it. People recognize you as Swarapana. That's it. It's just like a name your mom gave you. That's it. So who are you? I am Sagar. I'm from Swarapana. That's when the brand was created, and now we are more than 600 people. By the time we spoke, we have increased in 200 numbers. We started last year, November 2024. Now, recently, last week, I established a new branch in Bangalore because most of our audiences were in Bangalore. And we had an extremely successful event, first rehearsals, again, beginning with Hosa Belaku. I'm very, very happy about it. So, do I have a bit more time?
Uh, maybe you can take 5 more minutes to
Yes,
conclude,
definitely. I,
because
I
then
just
I'm
wanted
sure
to.
there'll be questions as well. So,
Oh, true, true. Okay, fine. So then I started. I might not be able to explain everything in detail. Now, all of the games that I used to play as a kid, the rules that I made, uh, came into an actual play now. We are not registered, but we are playing organization in an extremely professional manner. We have our executive committee, we have designing department, social media department, all possible departments, vocal monitor departments, instrumental section. We have 7 verticals of Swarapana. Swarapana School of Music is on the way, where I want to teach music in a very unconventional way. So all of these things happen just like that. And when people ask me, how many years have you planned this for? I'm like, I did not. Or probably it is deeply subconscious. Um, it was like a very dormant dream waiting to be unraveled. It was always there, but it just happened. It sounds extremely stupid, but it just happened. But when I now stop and look back, everything, every journey, every person that I've met counts. And if I was not this bossy kid, probably I wouldn't have dared to take the decisions that I take today as a founder. And I am learning hundreds of things every day with the people. We even have an executive committee, I call them Antara. They take a lot of torture from me. I am probably the youngest, or probably second youngest in the team. There are people older and they listen to me. It's very, very sweet. No, I'm not that very bossy, but I'm very purposeful. So with that, I want to conclude by saying that never be afraid to experiment. If I am to impress, sorry, inspire. Oh my God. If I'm to inspire someone, not impress. Never be afraid to experiment. I tell my Antara teammates. So you might be an introvert. So say for example you're going to this Kotumuri Soppu Angadi. All you have to do is go there, act as if you're one Sante woman. Ask. Just do a role play. Get out of your character, do a role play, come back home and exhale. You would have achieved something. But if you are doing the same thing every day, like going to school, I'm sorry, I'm against going to school. So if you're just doing that every day, you can't expect anything different. The tomorrow will be the same, the next Monday will be the same. So now my calendar is in such a way that 1 to 30 of June month, every day is different. It's like I have my own calendar. There is no another Monday repeating. So that freedom to experiment gives you a freedom to design your days. Your fate changes, your fate evolves. That's what I have experienced, and I would encourage others to do the same. And forgive all the people that you think might have not been able to understand your vision. There will be. Please forgive them. It's fine, but never lie to yourself just because another person wants you to be something else. With that, I'm really, really sorry. I've not been able to grab everything together in one piece and give it to you. And I think with the limited time I have, this is what I could share. Thank you very much. I think I can end there.
Thank you so much, Sagar. This is really inspiring. Yes, Sagar. Not
If
next month.
if possible,
Yes.
could I leave you off with a song?
Please, we would love to.
Yeah, it just struck my mind. Not philosophical or anything. This is I keep taking a lot of sessions, and my voice is like again. It is becoming three voices, but it's fine. I really, really wanted to sing this song. Okay. हम्म, हम्म, कुछ पाकर खोना है, कुछ खो कर पाना है, जीवन का मतलब तो आना और जाना है, दो पल के जीवन से एक उम्र चुरानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है, एक प्यार का नगमा है, मौजों की रवानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है. Yes.
You made our evening extra special, Sagar. That was so beautiful.